Okay. Welcome in. Kind of doing this from my living room right now. We're trying to get through my grandma's tote. I've been doing this show for a few weeks, but I usually do it during the week. I'm trying a weekend show just to see if I have those people that have bells on stuff, if they have time today to hop in. Everything in the store is preloaded. Like I said, I am going to try to go from the top of the tote down, but if you have requests, please let me know. If you guys have been here before, it's probably the same stuff. But like I said, everything is preloaded, so please let me know. I'm trying to get this camera. Woo! Let's not break the camera. Apologize for all this difficulty. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go from the top here, which is mainly fabrics, it looks like, and we'll work our way down. Okay. Welcome in. Trying to move it up so I'm not so far back. Okay, so this is Panda fabric. This is about 15 ounces of it. I haven't measured this out. There are smaller pieces here that were used for, I would say, projects. This one folds out pretty good. I haven't measured any of these, but this is all the same pattern for this one right here. But you do have these smaller pieces. Like I said, some of them have cut out, some of them fold out. This one got a little close with the printer, I guess, and it got darker on one side, but there's still a big chunk there that's still usable. This one was used for crafts, so you'll see like it is cut out a certain way. But then there's this big piece right here that hasn't really been cut out. I know there's over a yard, because that's about a yard right there, and then it folds out again. So there's at least, so if there's one, there's about maybe 3 or 4 yards here. This way, I'm not really sure how it folds out. Maybe about a yard this way as well. But this is a big chunk of this kind of fabric. This would be cute for like kids making outfits or anything like that. So I'm going to run this one. We're going to do maybe 15 seconds on these. Running now. Like I said, there's these smaller pieces that are still good for things, even for quilting or whatever, but there's that bigger section. And I would say if you're looking for fabric, this is the biggest fabric that I have at the moment. I have a bunch of scrap stuff for quilting that I can go through here in a second. Let me just put this back. If you're into scrap quilting, I've got the pieces for you, because some of these have strips, some of these have squares already pre-cut, some of these have even chunks of fabric that can still be used for other things. Let me just grab them all out. See, this is one, and then this is number 2. Okay. Welcome in. So this is number 1. Let me just tag that. There is about a pound and almost 2 ounces on this. Oop. Like I said, there's strips. There's strips of fabric here, but there are bigger pieces as well. You get some of this red. There's a bunch of different greens and reds and tans I see in this one. There's tans, dark reds. Bunch of reds. There's florals in there. So if you're looking for something for scrap quilting or quilting in general, these are some rectangles of like a tie-dye red. And then you get like some bigger pieces like this where there's greens. That kind of green. Like I said, some of these are bigger. You can unfold these a few times. So these would be good for like squares or anything like that that you need. This is kind of like a bluish gray. That folds out. There's a few pieces of that there. We have some red here with the floral cream color. That's a bigger chunk of it. There's a few pieces of, oh no, that's all one. That folds out a few times. None of these are measured. A lot of this is just from someone's quilting stash that they had. This one I kind of like. It has the grapes on it. And it says Canterbury by Country Essentials. No year, or year on that, I should say. Then you have your lighter florals pieces. There's little strips of that. These look like they were part of somebody's quilt. You get the light blue with the whites. We got some more greens here. Floral green. A bunch of that there. Different sizes. So if you're looking for like strips or squares, these are perfect. Then there are some pieces where they were trying to do quilts, but they didn't get to it. This looks like a blue floral with a rusty, dusty rose. That's what I'd call it, not rusty. And then you have matching strips and squares of that. Other pieces of that quilt that they were working on. And then you have a bunch of different sizes of this dusty rose. Some of them are already cut in pre-squares and stuff and strips. And then you have the bigger piece here for whatever else you need. Folds out a few times there. So that is fabric scraps bag number 1. A lot of it is that reds and pastel, like blues and pinks and greens. We're going to run this one. Running now. I'll do my little announcement. There we go. Welcome in, Susanna. Right now I'm kind of going through some scrap fabric for like quilts or little projects, things like that. But like I said, if you have any other things that you see in the store, if you want me to pull those forward, please let me know. One, 3, 2. Now this one is definitely just strips of fabric mostly for quilting. They're pre-cut strips. They come in all different kinds of colors. There's like these blue, I call these paisley. I don't know if that's the actual name for it. There's the reds, more of that blue floral. There's some of this tan. Let me pin this while we're waiting. More of the darker red. A bunch of light blue with floral on it, different sizes. Some of this looks a little bigger than others. There's the dark red. There's like a tan, not tan, a cream with like a red to it. More of that paisley, more of this red. There's a whole bunch of that, it seems. More of this blue with the paisley. If I'm not saying that right, can somebody please tell me what that pattern is? More of that floral. There's a different dark red mixed in here. Kind of has the same, it seems to have one color scheme to it. It's like this red with the tans and the blues, it seems. There's a bunch of that, same fabric. All pre-cut for some quilting. Darker reds here. More of this, oh, that's a different blue. Golden after, I'm guessing it says golden afternoon. But you have some of that. There's some tans in here, it looks like. Different type of floral blue and also that type of blue. Welcome in. These are all pre-cut for some type of quilting or projects. Or if you've ever seen those strip, those wreaths that people make where they use strips of fabric, this would be perfect for that as well. Then you get the more tans, more of this floral paisley kind of design with the light blue florals as well. This tan has like a splatter almost look to it, or like a sponge kind of design. And then a lot of this is the same. So you're getting a lot of the same fabrics, same color schemes. If you have a project, this would go really good. A lot of strips. We're gonna run this one. Running now. Anyone's interested? And it does even look like they started like a project, so you can kind of see their vision, but they were definitely doing some quilts and weren't able to finish before. Pin that one away. Okay. Let's see, number 3. Now this one has some strips, but it has bigger pieces, so if you need like squares or something like that, let's pin that one. This one has a bell on it. Can you run some of the buttons? Yes, I can do that. Actually, I can pull those out right here. They're right here. I know. Let me run some of them. We have a bunch of buttons. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out so I can see better. The red, white, and blue is kind of, when I had them together. I got some pinks. That one as well. Let's go together. Okay. I'm just gonna, unless you have a certain one, and any butterfly or star cross stitch patterns. I do. Yep, I do. Give me a second. Let me run one of these while I look, because I know I do have something of that sort. Okay, these ones are these ones. They're the black and gray, kind of like a marble look to them. These are Lansings. These are washable. It has a size down here. I'm not really good with size down buttons. I believe, I forget if it says on this one. One of them says where they're made from. This one, one of the older ones, says that they are made in the USA with Lansing. I'm going to run this one really quick while I look for that. Running this. While I look for that other little. Okay. And then we have some of these. These are blue. They are loose because a couple of them were used, but they're still all here. These are from Japan. They're Le Bouton guaranteed washable. I can't really see the size. Under here it says 8 on, I think, which meant that they had 8 here, but I'm gonna run these ones. These are like a blue, red, green, yellow, pink. Yep, okay. I'm gonna run this one really quick. I don't know if this is the blue you're talking about, but thank you for your bid on that. Thank you for looking at that. Or congratulations. I'm sorry. That was a first purchase. So I have a bunch of different blues. We have this one that is Blue Chic. They're almost floral. And it says guaranteed washable. It's kind of washed out here at the bottom. I think it says 39 3/4 or something like that. There's 5 of them. Made in USA. We're going to run this. Oh, okay. Not the blue you were looking at, but you'll take that one too. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you for your bid on this one. And these are like, I don't know when they were made. They don't have years or anything on it. Congratulations, Miss Beehive. Thank you on that one. We do have this last blue one. I'm just going to run this one really quick. This one is Perlite, a washable product. It has a little bit of, I don't know if water got on here or something like that, but it doesn't seem to have gotten on the buttons themselves. But I'm going to run that one. And it doesn't have size or year or anything like that on these ones. Thank you for your bid. I just thought these were like so cool when I saw them because you don't find old buttons, usually still on their package. Thank you for that one. And then you said green. Let's see. So this is mint green, it says on it. 33/4. Doesn't say where it was made. It's guaranteed washable, Le Chic. We're gonna run these ones. I love that color. There's 5 of these. Thank you for your bid. And there's no year. I wish I would put years on these because it would be so cool. Thank you on that one. And then what other colors? Yellow and pink. Okay. I have pink next on the list. These ones, there was an extra one, so I just kind of put it with that one. These are bichrome, guaranteed washable. Size is 28 with 4 buttons, but you get 5 because there's an extra one. They are from Japan, and these have that floral design on them. We're going to run this one. Thank you for that. These are really cute. These would be cute on some girl's dress or something. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we have these pink ones. These ones are floral too. They're kind of like those other blue ones. They're just not sparkly like the last ones. And you unlocked bronze. Make sure you get in your check out your coupon. I'm running this one. Thank you for your bid. And if I seem awkward, I am. I don't know what to say in these moments, but I've only been doing this for, I don't know, however many months, but congratulations. And you did say red. We have this one. So this one is a 36 and 7/8 inch. It has all stock here. It's saying it looks a little different than their older. This one's more like a dark red. I don't know. They must have changed their thing a few times. Oh, thank you. Gonna run these ones really quick. The red. Thank you for your bid on that one. And these are those ones that have that like one little hole in the back. Thank you for looking at that. Or congratulations. And then we have this one. That's yellow. These are floral. This one is missing when they used one. This one's a little different from the other ones. It looks more like a star. But this one is the one that you can see where it says Made in USA. And it's washable. We're going to run the yellows. You got 4 of those. Thank you for your bid on that one. I think these are super cute. Congratulations. And then I know you didn't say, these are red, white, and blue. This one kind of matches the red one you got, but then I had these other extra ones where they're just kind of missing a couple of them. They're all Lansings. They are, I believe, different. These 2 are the same size. This one's a little bit bigger. But I had the red, white, and blues going together as a little package. I'm going to run that one really quick. I don't know if anyone would be interested. I know they're a little mismatched, but red, white, and blue. And they had to have changed. I'm wondering if this one's newer. Okay. And then I'm just going to run the last 2 really quick, and then we can do, I have a butterfly and star cross stitch thing here. Which one are these? These ones. Okay, so these are brown. There are 2 missing. These are the 30 by 30 or 30 and 34 inch, 3/4 inch. Wow. But they're Lansing as well. They have like that brown kind of marble. I don't know if that's really picking up, but we're going to run this really quick just to get through the buttons. Because I only have 2 left of the buttons. Welcome in. Okay, and then this one is a blue. It's like a black and blue kind of. I don't know if that's like a marble or like a tiger stripe. I'm not 100% sure what that is. It's kind of hard to see. They're a little dusty. They've been sitting in a tote. But these are La Chic. They're 45. Maybe it looks like 1 1/8 inch. You get 3 of them. Let me run this one. Running this one really quick. I'm going to start putting these ones away unless anyone else wants buttons. Thank you for looking at those. Next, we do have that butterfly and star. It is a cross stitch design. It's brand new. I've never opened it. It's been sitting in a tote. It has this to shut it. When I look at the light, there are papers still in it. It's cross stitch designs for gingham checks, but it's butterfly and star. I don't know if this is exactly what you were looking for, but I've got this one running now. Thank you for your bid on that one. It has complete chart and instructions on the inside. It looks like they use it on skirts and everything. Oh, okay. Congratulations on that one. Yeah, if you see anything else in the store, just let me know. I'm going to put the buttons over here for a second. If anyone has requests from the store, please let me know. Why does it say I only have 7 options? I don't have 7 items. There we go. Okay. That would have been cookies, right? Well, some people do come in, they're like, because I have a bunch of different patterns, and they're like, do you have this kind of pattern? I'm like, I do or I don't. So I wasn't sure. Some people are very specific, and then sometimes I have it, and sometimes I don't. But when you said that, I was like, I do. Okay, this is number 3. We're going to go back to fabrics unless anyone has any requests. I can dig in the tote. I'm just kind of pulling out from the top of the tote to get these out of the way. Yeah. Okay. So this one is about just a little, like a sliver over a pound. There are strips here in different colors. I have so many cross stitch things because my grandma was into cross stitch. I could never get into it, but I figure other people could use them instead of just throwing them. Because a lot of people, like my family and stuff, I wouldn't say my family, but a lot of people are just like, just get rid of it. If you need the room, just get rid of it. And it's like, I know, but there's people out there that could use this. I'm not just going to throw it. We have some, this almost looks like bubbles or scales. We have a bunch of that, it seems. And like I said, there's pre-cut squares because this person was into quilting. But then there's like strips. There's big pieces of fabric they didn't get to. This one's kind of like a tan. This is that one that had some strips, and the other one that has, it has like a sponge, or I wouldn't say texture, but it's like this weird design on it. We got a few pieces of that are not cut into yet. There's smaller ones. There's this big one. I almost thought these were eyes on the flowers, but they're not. That's just how they made the centers. It does have a thing here. It doesn't say how big it is though. There's a sticker on this one, and it folds out a couple times. Then you get your purples in different designs. These are perfect for squares, for quilting. Bunch of different purples. And then you have your strips. And then there's this thing in there, and this has like a, I don't know if that's picking up, but there's like a sparkle to it around the edge and kind of throughout the leaf. There's some greens, more squares of this, like, is that a poppy? Not a poppy. Oh, what are they called? Pansy. That's what I meant. More strips of that one with the kind of sparkle on it. Got more greens. You have a whole bunch of this in different strips, sizes, and a big chunk here. Like I said, this is definitely a quilter's crafting stash. They had them pre-cut. And then you get this bigger piece here as well. Has this floral. I want to say there might be a yard here at least. And it folds out a couple times. I don't have this 100%. I don't have these measured. I'm just kind of going off. It looks like it's a yard wide. It might be a yard by a yard. But you get all of that for this one. Running now. Thank you for looking at that. Gotta try to get this nicely back in the bag. And then our last bag of fabric scraps, definitely quilt scraps. Let me just tag that in that one. And this has a bunch of squares along with other pieces. You get, well, these aren't fully squares. They're cut into triangles, but you get all these different fabrics. There's a bunch of these ones. This has the red with the tannish cream color. There are these red. And then you have, this is kind of like a brown geometric kind of design to it. You have the navy with the leaves. There's a bunch of that there. You have this dark, I want to say it's almost a, I thought maybe navy, but it almost looks dark enough to be black compared to that one. But it has the olives on it. There's some more of the leaves. Then you have your strips of it with the different colors. There's even a leaf one there. Palm leaf, maybe? And then, like I said, you have the squares. There's reds. There's tans. More reds. What is this one? Oh, it looks different on the back. Okay. Has a red leaf. You got your olives. Kind of like that olive fabric. I don't know why. Okay, these are like a blue design. More of that blue leaf. And I don't know what any of these fabrics are made out of. But if you're looking for squares, this is perfect. You get some of this, get more of the olive, but you get this like floral, or not floral, leaf. It almost looks like a leaf. More tan. Brown with the blue. Ooh, that looks pretty. I like that color combination. More of that floral. Definitely a lot of these squares in this one. Brown. So if you have a quilt that you're looking at, or if you want scraps for quilting, so many different designs for this. And then these are bigger. These are more rectangulars, but it's kind of like the same coloration, the tans, the reds. You also get green. This is a bigger piece here. I'm not even sure what this design is on the green. But it kind of looks like, I wouldn't say cabbage. It looks like there's a small flower in the center and then like all these leaves around it. And then you get the strips of the different greens. Like I said, this is a quilter's stash. Golden afternoon, it says on one of the pieces. So many different greens. Then you get this green here. Bigger section of fabric. You have, this one is the same as that other green where it has like that floral in the center and then the leaves around it, except for this is brown. And it's called Golden Afternoon is that design. But, and then you have this one here, which is, what is this one called? Sip of Summer by Connecting Threads. Copyright 2009 to 2010. So these are about 15, 16 years old. And then it has, oh, more of that brown, the leaf kind of design folded in with it. They're not connected. They're just folded together for some reason like that. It almost looks like a vintage picnic table cover. But you get all of that for this price running now. If anyone is into fabric, scraps for quilting or little projects, anything like that. And like I said, if you guys have anything from the store that you want to look at, just let me know. I try to do requests and stuff first. Let me just double check that I got all of the, yeah. Okay. Let's do some of the fleece pieces. I have a bunch of these. Different pieces of fleece. different projects. Okay. Let me just hold on to that. And these are so soft. They do have some fuzzies on them from being with the fabrics, but let me see. Does this one have, welcome in everybody. This one does not have the measurements. I forgot to measure this one, but it has this pre-made thing. I almost wonder if this was supposed to be like a headband or something. But obviously if you want just it, you can like undo the sewing on it. Then there's like these little scraps of it, but you get this big piece right here for anything that you want. It is super long. It's this but doubled. I was almost wondering if somebody could take this and turn it into a scarf, like put some hemming on it. Like this is already pre-cut. That's all you'd have to do is like maybe hem it, maybe add like one of these on one of the sides and make like a little pocket. And this would be like a perfect Christmas gift. You could even use this one maybe on the other side, maybe cut them like the same length and make a little pocket on each side. But I'm going to run this one. Running now. Purple fleece, super soft. Thank you for looking at that. I have this tan one here that's kind of a like Southwest design on it. It has the little scraps as well, but you get this longer piece, and like I said, perfect for like a let me see if I actually measured this one. I know a few of these are measured and some of them I didn't. I don't know why. Okay, so the bigger piece is 58 inches by 8 inches across. But like I said, perfect for whatever you want to do with it, but it's an easy scarf right there. Just put some hemming on it. Maybe use some of these for like a pocket on one end. We're going to run. Running now. Thank you for looking at that one. What's next? This one. Okay, so this one is 62 by 21 inch. So this one has not been really cut into. Let me put my little announcement up. There we go. Okay, so this one I can't probably fit all the way out here, but this is a 62 inch by 21 inch piece of tan, and it does show up a little bit darker than what's on the camera. We're gonna run this one. Running now. Thank you for looking at that. And then our last, they're wolf fleece strips. You get 2 of these, I believe. Okay, so this is the bigger one, I believe. And these are, the thing that it says on the edge here, I can barely read it because it's fuzzy, obviously. But it says Colin Bogle, courtesy of MHS something. And then this one is the same, but it's a little bit smaller. You get the wolves howling. There's that bigger face. I probably should turn this around so you can see. There's that wolf face in there. Fuzzies everywhere from all this fabric. But you can see, like, there's the howling wolves. There's the bigger one here. Did I measure these out? Please tell me I did in the details. Okay, yes. So one is 62. The bigger one is 62 inches long by 13 across. And then the smaller one is 61 by 7.75 inches across. And I'm not going to lie, this one's perfect for like a little scarf or something like that. Christmas is coming up. The colder months are coming up. These would just be easy to make into strips and turn into scarves or something, because these are really warm. But I'm going to run this one right here. Starting now, you get the 2 strips of the wolves howling, and it also has that normal wolf on it. Welcome in. Thank you guys for looking at that one. If you're just joining, everything in the store is preloaded. So if you have requests, just let me know. There's a bunch in the bin as well. Like, I have stickers, jewelry, crystals, handmade items, and a bunch of other stuff. If you want to check that out. Okay, what is this? I'm just kind of pulling out from the tote. It's not in any order. So basically whatever's on top goes first. But like I said, I take requests. I can dig. This is felt. Yeah. Okay, so this has a bunch of different scraps of quilt, and I know people use them for like ornaments and stuff, and this is just how it came, so I'm leaving it in there. Getting the fuzzies off from the other fabrics. But like, there's other kinds of things in here. There's red, there's green, there's this yellow, and I'm trying to get all the fuzzies from the fabric off of it, but there's orange. You get another green. Is that different? That's a darker green. Yeah, that's a darker green. Then there's like a blue. And some of these felts are different, like, thicknesses as well. And then you have more of that red. But we're going to run this really quick. Thank you for looking at that one. I'm going to pull out some other stuff. Actually, I'm gonna pin something because I think my dog has to use the restroom. So I'm gonna pin some stickers. I know we should pin one that. Okay, I have more mushrooms. Yeah, we're gonna let the dog out. I'm gonna be right back. Okay. Starbucks. Huh. Let's go outside. What'd you do to your ear? Let me go wash my hands. lay down. You went outside, you're good. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Had to let the dog out. Okay. So I was going to run this right here, but if you guys want to check out the store, if you have any requests, let me know. Also, if you want to check out the bin, I have a bunch of stickers, jewelry, crystals, handmade items, things like that in there. Okay, so this is that lace edging that was on the table. It's about 7 inches long, and then there's 10 of them here and 10 on each side. So that's about 140 inches of this like lace-like trim on it. So I'm gonna run that. Running now. Hopefully since I let her out, she'll just go lay down. Yep, there she goes. Thank you for looking at that one. I have some batting here. I'm kind of just pulling whatever was on top of the tote out so I can get to the other stuff underneath. But like I said, I can definitely dig. Okay, these are 2 different kinds. This one feels a little more like it would stick to things. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not good with batting. I don't do quilting. But this one obviously would be used for different little scraps and things like that if you're making ornaments or anything small like that you just need something small for. But then there's this bigger piece too that does have a couple of the squares cut out. This is softer, almost like a felt. But I know she would use it for batting, like in between her quilts, squares and things like that. So you have these both. Just little leftovers from whatever she was doing. Running now. And when I say she, a lot of this is my grandma's. My grandma, she sadly had a stroke back in 2001. Wasn't able to do anything. She passed 2009, I want to say. And I've just had her tote of stuff. And I finally went through it. I finally took what I wanted out of it. And I have all this crafting stuff that I just don't know what to do with. And I don't want to throw it out or whatever. So I'm like, maybe somebody will just enjoy it. And I've gone through, I want to say half of it, but I just have some of this stuff left over. And I've also added like the buttons and some of the fabric scraps I did add from other things I found. So there is that. Let's get some of the small stuff out of the way. Okay, so these are repair needles. Some of them, 2 of them have been used, but there's still enough in here. And like I said, if you guys see something in the store, if you want me to pull that ahead, please just let me know. I love doing that. But these are repair needles. I only have them for $2, but you get, there's different kinds. There's ones for tapestry. One is for rugs, carpets, and heavy fabrics. This one is for sacks and string sewing. And then you have 2 that are made for upholstery, mattresses, and car seats. So if you're into like redoing anything, welcome in. These are perfect for it. These are just a little bit of, like I said, they're repair needles. There's 2 missing, but you get the one for tapestry, for rugs and heavy fabrics and carpets. And this one's for sacks, string sewing. And then these are for upholstery, mattress, and car seats. But obviously, if you're using different fabrics for your crafting, you would possibly need these. But these are running. right now. They do say they're made in England. They're assorted sizes. Doesn't really say what they're made out of. But thank you for looking at those. I do have this Chanel. I probably said it wrong. These are kind of like pipe cleaners, but it's a make your own kit, so you can use them for floral decorations, place decorations, gift wrapping, making animal dolls, toys, etc. They are marked Japan down here at the bottom. There are 9 of them. They're like this bluish teal kind of color to them. I'm gonna run that. I only have $2 on these. There's so much random in this tote, the crafting tote, that I couldn't even tell you what to do with these. Thank you for looking at that one. I don't know if these aren't really crafty, but these are safety pins for babies. I know people do use pins sometimes in their crafting stuff, but look at that little baby art on there. I don't know if you can see that very well. Look at the little baby. You get 2 of these. They look like they're in pretty good shape, not really rusty or anything. They're huge. They're at least maybe 2, maybe 3 inches. But I'm going to run them. You get 2 of them on this little vintage piece of paper. Thank you for your bid. I just thought this was cute. I know people use these for so many different things now with their crafting. Congratulations, Miss Beehiving. I will put that with your others. I think I have these put as, do I have it as prim? I do. Okay, I only have $1 on these. These are Prim's Premium. They're for rolled edges, large sewing holes, rust proof, all brass, even though they have that silver tone. Their size is that, 2/0. I don't know what that means. Ladies Handy. There's no year on this either. Tells you all the different things you can use it for. Made in the USA. But I'm going to run these. These are only $1. Running now. I know this is a bunch of small random. I'll get to the bigger stuff. I have a lot of patterns we have to go through, but I figured I'd get the smaller stuff out of the way. And my question is, if anyone knows, do you just use one, like you have one way and then you have one the other way and then it just snaps into itself? I've never used them. Okay. Bias tape. I don't know what bias tape is for. They're 2 different ones. No, they're not. Wright's Flexi Cloth, and then this one's a different one. So they're different ages, I'm guessing. One's 5 yards. 5 yards. So you get 10 yards. That one says 100% cotton. That one says 100% cotton. This is number 200, while this is number 205. They're both white 30 and guaranteed color fast. I'm not sure what bias tape is for, but it was with the crafted stuff, so I'm figuring it's something to do with that, but we're going to run this. $2. You get 2 of them. New fine quality, 80 by 80 count. I don't know. I don't know if there is a difference. Probably should look into that. I have some needles here. These are not the other ones, but these are darning, it looks like. Yarn darners. One is, these ones are 3 to 9 sizes. This one's 14 to 18, but there's only one, so I'm not really sure. They are made in England. I'm just putting them together. Running that one. Anyone needs darners? I don't know what H34 or H15 means. And they are nickel plated. Made in England. Millward. Thank you for looking at those ones. Darners are for long basting stitches. And then we just have 2 pieces. These are smaller piece things. These are 2 pieces of elastic. Oh, and that one does have a pin in it, but they are 11 inches each. So if you just need some random pieces of elastic, maybe for like a little doll skirt or something like that, I just have these for $1. Running now. They're 11 inches long. I forgot to measure how. I want to say at least 1 inch across. Probably 1.5, maybe. Thank you for looking at those ones. And let's get into some of this other stuff. Got all of this stuff. Just gonna grab handfuls and we'll do them. Okay, so I do have these 2 older needle cases. I don't even know if you need needles, but look at this artwork on these. This one is from Germany. Let me pull up needles again. Like, these would be cool just to put in like a little tiny frame or something, I would think. They do come with some needles in them. Let me just pin this one. So this is the Lifetime Piccadilly product trademark imported needle case. Same thing on the back. There is a little wear on the inside with the foil and everything. There are some needles. They are gold tipped. They're all Gold Eye imported. Like I said, there is some wear on the inside here. It says Reg US Patent Office for all sewing purposes. When I looked it up, it did say that it was from Germany though. So I'm going to run this one first. Running now. I just love the artwork on these, even if you don't want to use the needles. These are just cool pieces. Thank you for looking at that one. And then this one says Our World. This one comes with gold eye needles also. I forget where it says it. Copyright is 1952, Pioneer MDSE Co. New York, New York. Oh, made in Japan right here. Made in Japan. And these ones this has a little bit more needles to it. This one is in a little bit better shape, the foils and everything like that. Obviously, you have some needles that were being used. But I think this is so cool, especially if you like collect old stuff for crafting. Running now. This one is from Japan. Woo! Just wanted to jump out of my hands. And like I said, it was copyright in 1952. I just think those are such cool little pieces. Let's get this out of the way. These are little pearl-like beads. I don't know the size of them. There's 13. I say they're like charm, but they have little eye hooks that they would hang from. So these would be more, I don't think even like buttons, but they would be for edgings maybe. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them all You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. And they're going to come in their original bag. Bigelow's department store. But I'm going to run these. Running now. If you need any like little tiny bead accents on anything. And they have that little hook at the top that you would just, they would hang. Thank you for looking at those. I'm going to quickly go through these patterns. But like I said, if you guys have, these are not, I shouldn't just say they're patterns. They're the clothes patterns. So where's this one? The outsides of these are a little worn. They've been sitting in a tote and stuff with other stuff. Everything is in there, I checked. This one is right here. This is McCall's. It's a 7527. It's a Mrs. Dress and Dicky pattern. These are from New York, New York. This one doesn't have a year, I can tell on it, but it does say it's a size 16-18 with bust 36-38. So I'm going to run this one. I only have these at $2. Running now. Okay, thank you for looking at that one. This one is, okay, so these are the same ones. One's just a size 36, or I'm guessing this is bust size. So one's a size 36. These people are gone. They're no longer alive. One's a size 36, one's a size 38. It is the bust size. Where's the front of this one? So this is a printed pattern. Okay, I'm not going to bend this one out of shape. I know one of these just shows it right in front. Okay, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to run this one. Let me just find it. You get both of these because they're the same pattern, but it's a 36 and 38, depending on what size you need. I'm going to run. Running now. And they both have everything in here. The pattern, everything is all in these little packets. Thank you for looking at that one. Okay, this one has a bell on it. I do want to point out that there is this like lacquer or paint or something that got on it. It did get slightly on the pattern here, but I think it's just on this first layer when I unfolded it. It just seems to be on that one layer, but everything is here. This is for, let me put it back in. Oh, it even comes with like a step-by-step how to do it instructions. Little pamphlet. This is a McCall's size 16 bust 38 Mrs. Dress or tunic and jumpsuit. I'm gonna run that one. If anyone's interested, thank you for your bid on that one. I love this. I don't know why. That screams 70s and I love it. Thank you for your bid on that one, Miss Beehive. Okay, this one is, and it looks like Tilly. I've never heard that name before, but Tilly was with all of these patterns. This is a size 18, bust 38, simplicity printed pattern. It is ripped on the sides here just a little bit. Does not affect the pattern. You can see that the pattern's like all in good shape in there. There is some yellowing just from age, obviously. Does this one say a year either? A lot of these don't have ages on them. So it's just a Mrs. and Women's one-piece dress with detachable collar and cuffs. Okay. We're going to run this one. I wonder if the belt comes with it or if that's something separate. Oh, but it shows you that it has a cuff and collar on there. Thank you for looking at that one. What one's this? This is number 9011. Size 16.5. So they did a 16.5. So it's a half size. It's a dress of some sort here. Let me find it. There we go. Running that one. And this one has the collar attached to it, looks like. You could even do these different colors, I'm betting. Thank you for looking at that one. Okay, so this one is 5 different patterns in one. You get, it's Butterick Classics, Fast and Easy. This is size 18, 20, and 22. I don't know what size that would have been back then. This is from 1991. It has all of the information here on the back of like the different sizes and measurements, I guess. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different skirts. We're gonna run that one. Butterick Classics, Fast and Easy, 5712 from what I say, 1991. 1991. Welcome in. If you guys are joining, everything in the store is preloaded, so if you have any requests, let me know. I've gone through a lot of the fabrics and some of the patterns for the clothing, but if you guys see anything, I definitely can take requests. I'm just kind of grabbing from the top of the tote and going, but there's also a bunch in the Buy It Now. There are some crystals, jewelry, stickers, some handmade crocheted things by me, but then there's also a couple other things that I did not make in there that are hand crocheted or knitted. And then there's a bunch of random, so you might want to check it out. These are crochet hooks, but it also says they're a knitting pin. But there's 2 of them in here. There's this blue one, and then there's this metal one, just a silver colored one. They have 2 different things. This one has like a metal coil, and then this one is a plastic. Let me just pull these up. Knitting. Okay. Like I said, you get the 2 in there. I don't know which one was the original to this, but you get all of it. And it does have this date down here, 3/13/36. So I don't know if that's when they got this or what. But we're gonna run. I don't know if that's like the size or something. Not sure what those numbers mean, but they're handwritten. Thank you for looking at those. I tried not taking them fully out because they'll uncoil and then I can never get them back in. Okay. Now I'm going to get into a lot of the books and stuff, the different patterns. There are quilting, there are cross stitch, there are crochet and knitting. There's a bunch in here. Some of the magazines even have other crafts and stuff like that in them. So I'm just going to try to I'm trying to skim through them for you so that you can see what you're getting. Okay, this one. So this one is for, it says work basket, home and needlecraft for pleasure and profit. These are from 1948. This one's from June of 1948. It says for ideas for the bazaar, the home gifts, and spare time moneymakers with many inexpensive, easily made articles that find a ready sale. So this one has, it looks like some doilies in here, the wagon wheels. It has tray cloths, how to make tray cloths. This, what is this? Crochet Star bedspread design. How to conceal an old hem. There's tatted scarves. Sometimes it has random like tips and mixed in. How to do a crochet doily. How to reinforce an edge. This one is crochet mitts. How to make those mitts. Those seemed popular a few years back too. Daisy vanity set. How to make that. Tatted edges. Metalcraft. This one has a different, so it tells you how to like paint, or not paint, but etching metal, and how to do it on like different trays and things like that. If you're into that, it has the different patterns. And then there usually is a section where it has like club notes, but this one has a knitted two-piece bathing suit. There's the club notes. You just kind of skip over that. And then there's tatted handbag. It even tells you like how to do cottage cheese sandwiches, deviled ham filling, and it has like an alphabet quiz and stuff like that they would have done back in the 40s. But we're gonna run this one. Running now. Thank you for looking at that one. I'm just going to put it over here. I'm going to put my little announcement in. This is a second work basket. This one has, it's basically the same thing on the front, but this one's from February of 1948. It has crocheted pillow. It looks like some cross stitch onto the pillow. There's a doily. There are the pan holder set. What one is that? Triangle motifs. You get a quilt in this one. There's the club notes that I was talking about. And then it has a hot plate mat back in the back here. Some collar and belt sets. Knitted gloves. And that's the design for it. And I think that's still part of that. So we're going to run this one as well. Running now. This one is from February of 1948, where the other one was from June. Thank you for looking at that one. Okay. Baby. So this is for knit and crocheting, if anyone is into that. It kind of shows you what you can make on the outside here. There's that and that. There's the floral one. Welcome in, Allison. If you see anything in the store, just let me know. This has, okay, so it tells you like how to do general instructions like changing colors and all that, finishing and everything up here. And then you have the flowers to knit, which is that floral one that was on the back here. It's kind of hard to tell from just looking at that. There's the goose to knit. You have an Afghan duck. You get the snowman to knit. And then you have the checks and Afghan stitch. You have Dana's rainbow to crochet and also a waffle weave. Can you show the 101? Yes, I can. I can do that next after I run this. But this is this one. It's for the baby Afghans for knit and crochet. We're going to run this one. And let me... Okay. So here's that one. Let me just pull it up really quick. This one literally has a pattern on almost every single page. I'm trying to think. I don't think this is the one that the binding's still kind of okay on this, I believe. Yeah. So this one literally has something on every page. There is a printout in here that I'm kind of just leaving, but so many different quilts in here, literally of every page. There's French stars, the V block, drunkard path. I'm going to go the other way. And it looks like there's a printout for, what is this? Snappy triplets kit. I don't know. It was in the book, so I'm just leaving it. It's kind of like a doll, it looks like. Quilted doll. But there's so many other, every single page, I believe, has a quilt on it. Some of them do take two, like there's bird ones. There's somebody traced it, and I just left it in there. So you don't have to cut it out or anything like that. But there are florals, there's stars, sunbeams. Right here it kind of tells you the different, like, history, I guess. But there's one on every single page. So many different ones. Ocean wave. Cross and crown. What is that? A group of interesting perforated, oh, it has perforated quilting patterns, it looks like, too. In that section. Double T, Jacob's Ladder, Rob Peter and Pay Paul, Square and Compass, Wedding Ring. I've seen that in a few of them. Wild Goose Chase. There's some how to do borders and setting it together. Jack in the Box. It just looks like there's literally one on almost every page. And then it has like quilt materials and what to use. So I'm going to run this. And like I said, there's this little printout. I'm just leaving it. We'll run that one. Anyone's interested. Welcome in. Okay. If you want that rerun, just let me know. I'm just going to place it over here. This is the next cross stitch one that I had pulled out. This is the dinosaurs. I love this hat. It says Old Fossil. Basically, you have this giant design here, and you can take each of these individual dinosaurs if you want and use them for other things like they did here. And then it has like the Old Fossil and Feed Me up here. On the back, you get the teachers guarded by Watch Dinosaur, and I'm guessing you can switch out whatever dinosaur you want. This one says, I know what killed the dinosaurs, Mondays. And then this is guarded by, and then it shows the head because you just put that over this one here. right here. I'm going to run this one. Running now. Thank you for looking at that. Okay, I'm going to grab a huge pile. Ooh. What did that come out of? One of the quilting. Okay, so we have Quilt World. This is a magazine from 1981. Let me just pin it. This one is, I would say, fair. It was used. The binding's just a little weird. There are some extra printouts here of different quilts that I'm guessing my grandma was looking at doing but never got to. Has the different prints. Just going to leave that in there. That's kind of skip through here. It kind of tells you like the history of quilting and all that. It does have a bunch of different patterns in here. It kind of shows you, here's one of the bird ones. It shows you some of what they, what some of the patterns that are in here. Like there's one for a duck. There's the All-American one. There's these little girls. There's the butterfly one. This is called the Majestic Bird. And then there's sunrise and all that. So those are all in here. There's the American one. Here's the little girl. I don't know if these patterns are in here, but these are just showing you what people have made. There's that other girl. She's sewing or cross-stitching. Notes and quotes. There's some of the other ones. And then they have like their advertisements, obviously, for a magazine. But like I said, there were those, there's like the history of quilting. There's those other types of quilts on there. There's exchanges, gossip. It says photos. Basically a bunch. So we're going to run this one. Thank you for looking at that one. What is this? I feel like that might have came out of that one with all those printouts. Okay. So this is a knit and crochet one. Like I said, I have a bunch of different patterns for all different things. Crochet, knitting, cross stitch, quilting. It's not under that. What's it under? Gloves? Yep, okay. So this one's from 1953. As you're going to see, a lot of these don't have like a color front to them, but this one does. This must have been a newer one. The color front, but all of the inside is black and white. But there are so many, there's instructions towards the back. There's for women, children, Norwegian mittens, different ones here. Lace gloves, more children's. Mints for the growing children. It kind of tells you like how to size it. Classic mittens. And this one is, there's some pages that are a little bit loose. These have been used very well. My grandma used to love making this kind of stuff. There's Afghan stitch gloves. The pages are all in here though. Men and women's cable gloves, men's Norwegian mittens, Angora gloves, women's Angora mittens. So many different kinds. There's shorties, fingered, two-tone. And this is from 1953. We're gonna run this one. Running now. Okay, thank you for that. We have some laces. Like this one's older. Hold on, it's right here. And I think I put fair on these because they are, I don't know the age on this one, but I feel like this is just older. This has more of those mittens, striped mittens, children mittens, men's mittens, Scandinavian socks. There's socks in here too. And scarves for men, women, and children. Just so many options. Like I said, this one is fair. This is a little worn, but all the patterns are in there. I'm gonna run this one. Thank you for looking at that one. Welcome in. If you see anything in the store, please let me know. Okay. So this one's seasonal stitches. This one has something for every season. There's a stitch in which. There's this one where you can put all the seasons on there. My grandma actually made me this. I just have to frame it. There's a cat, a burger, some, it looks like leaves, feathers and leaves, it says. There's a front and back to the cat. I can't fit it all in the screen. Okay, so what is this one? This one's autumn, gingerbread house, apples and wheat. You get the different types of treasure jewels. They have a nativity set, and it has Mary and Jesus and Joseph there. They're going to look like this when you're done, because I know they look a little weird in the book. They have the wise men and also the shepherd. You get this for a pillow. It's a ribbon pillow. You can do all different seasons. I think this one's winter, but then they tell you up here like how to do the different seasons. There's writing, birthdays, welcome, crosses, Celtic cross, Easter eggs, wedding stuff, floral, more wild roses, and running chicks. And then it has the basic instructions back here and how to like finish it in special projects. And there is some like spotting and stuff from age, but I'm gonna run this one. Running now. And it kind of just shows you like on the front here and also on the back all the different things you can make. Thank you for looking at that. This was not crafting, but this was in there. I just thought it was good ephemera. This is a guide to shapely legs. This for some reason was in the crafting tote, but it's copyright of 1949, Hearst Publishing Co. by Sally Young. And I guess it's based off of some book, but it basically tells you all the stretches and things like that. It says, it literally starts off with, what's the remedy for ugly legs? And then it goes into it. It says it's based on the book Slender Legs Home Method by Margaret Benson. And then it tells you how to stretch your feet on the back. But I just thought that was funny. I just stuck it in here if somebody wants it. Because I know sometimes like the old paper and ads and stuff like that go. But I just added that in. It doesn't really fit in a crafting show, but it was with the crafting stuff. It was in her crafting tote for some reason. Okay, so this one was from 1980. This is a Whimsy Witch. both of my grandparents on both sides used to make things like this, like the 3D decorations. But this is something that you can hang on your wall or on your door. It comes with the whole pattern in here. Tells you everything you need. Let me get, if I see if I can get that pattern to move. There we go. Excuse me, my throat is drying out. But 1980 patch press, 1980s, Salem, Oregon. I'm not sure how my grandma got this. Maybe she ordered it through something, but it's a Whimsy Witch pattern. We're gonna run that one. Because I remember my other grandma, she made like a 3D sitting witch. But this must have been like the thing to do back in the 80s. Maybe even the 90s. Okay. So these are hugums. They're like 3D, almost looks like sheep, lambs. This is just a printout of the pattern, or it has a pattern, I should say. Has the whole pattern attached to this. Has all the instructions. I don't see an age on this one, but I would say like 80s, 90s. I'm gonna run this one. And it looks like you make two little sheep that hug each other. And that is just cute. Running now. Thank you for looking at that one. More cross stitch. We have Paula. So this is a Leisure Arts duplicate stitch designs from Paula's Closet. I don't think there was an age on this one either. But it has the general instructions up here. It has all these little cross stitches in here. Oh, hold on. I skipped a page. These have been sitting shut for so long that these pages, there we go. So you get the birds, the florals, and then all the different small flowers there. And then you have the big basket of flowers on the back here. And then it tells you like how to finish it and what to do for bigger projects. But there's just some ideas of what they were thinking you could do with that. We're going to run this one. This originally was $4. I don't know the age though. Okay. This is another, this is from 1981. The only reason I didn't throw these magazines out is because they have patterns and everything in them. These are so good for their patterns. And they don't have, like, today's magazines are over, like, you'd get maybe 2. And the rest is just ads. But these kind of, I mean, obviously there are some ads in here. But they have so much in here. There's the decorative hems and edgings. It goes into all of that detail. And then it kind of shows you pictures of like what you can make, like this little set here. I love that set. I don't know why. I wouldn't wear it, but I just love it. There's different ways to embroider dresses, patch pocket skirts, the modern arts of Mexico. This, I love this thing. It's like a wrap skirt, whatever you want it to be. Different types of pillows. You get these like these ones. I shouldn't say normal, but then you have like the 3D animal, the zoo animals. You get banners. There's quilts in here. There's dolls. That quilt, I'm not gonna lie, kind of scares me. The face on it, I don't know. And then it has the patterns here in the middle for everything. It tells you how to like take these patterns and measure them out for actual things. There's a couple things that they have pictures in the back that they have patterns for here. Let's get past patterns. But look, that's that baby and that's that moon that I was talking about. I don't know why. Like something with the faces. I don't know if it's the big noses or what, but they just, it's kind of like, what were they thinking? Inspiration, how they got all these. Here's some of the other things you can make is this backpack and also these little rams. And then it has the instructions back here for each individual thing. And then there's another bag that you can make. And then they have their ads towards the back, I believe. Yeah. Commentary, publications, all that fun stuff. But this is going to running now. This is from 1981 and it has all of those fun things in there. Starbuck. I just heard something in the kitchen that I thought it was my dog, but I don't know what that was. We're just going to keep going. Okay, so I have this one, but this one has call outs. I did lower the price on this, even though it's a bigger book. I lowered the price because there are some call outs from age. There are some dots and spots and stuff in here. There's the cable clock socks in the front. There is a little wear on the binding. It's been used. There's a little printout here. I'm just keeping it with it. It's for TV booties. But like I said, there's a couple dots. It's on these pages right here in the front. And then there is one page where it looks like something possibly got spilt on it. These are all socks. Socks. This one. It has like some dirt or something that's like on here. I tried wiping off as much as I could. I'm not sure what it was. I'm guessing it's some type of food, or she would drink tea while she was doing this. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't smell. It's just a little discolored. And you can still see all the patterns. It doesn't go onto other pages. But that's like the call out of this book. There's a different socks in here. Booties. Different types of gloves. And this is Bernat's. Some scarves, child's knitted beanie and men's evening scarf. Scarf sets. It is a little ripped there too. This is old though. Norwegian scarf and glove set. But yeah, I'm gonna run this. Just like I said, there's that one. There's those couple call outs towards the front where there's like spotting from being old. And then there's that one page where it looked like something was on it, but it doesn't smell or anything like that. I was able to clean most of it off. It looked like it was just dust or something. But thank you guys for looking at that one. I'm gonna pull this one. This is kind of just like that other 101 one that I showed earlier. It has a bunch of different patterns. And if you guys are into scrap quilting, I have all that fabric too. I do want to point out that this binding's a little loose here in the front. If you guys can see that. The binding's a little loose. Some of these pages are looser. There are so many. I'm going to turn this just a little bit so you can see. There are so many patterns in this. There's the button box. There's cakes in here. There's candies in here. There's florals. I think there was even little girls. So many different ones. And like I said, This front section is a little loose. All the patterns are in here though. There's Midnight Star, there's 9-patch hourglass, there's so many. I'm skipping over some of them because there's just way too many to go through. But this is the scrap quilting. So like I said, I have all that scrap fabric in my store if you want to check those out. If you want me to pull those forward, if you're into this kind of stuff, I can definitely do that. But there are so many different patterns in here. And it looks like they're for all different, yeah, all different sizes. And this book is from 1995. Candy wrappers. They actually kind of look like candies. Dresden plate. Oop, sorry. And then it says how to start to finish, like it has tips on it. How to do cutting. Has all the different tips of how to quilt back here. How to do applique, strip piecing, joining blocks, all of it. All of it back there. But like I said, in the front here, this front little section, it's a little loose because the binding is a little, it's been worn. So I'm just going to run this one really quick. This one's from 1995, where I don't remember what the other 101 was from. Okay, thank you for looking at that one. Let me grab more. Okay. If you're into embroider, I have these here. I believe these are the first thing on the list. Maybe not. Maybe. Yes. Okay, so there's 2 embroidered pamphlets here. This one is for Oliver Scroll placemat and napkins. Has a design here, has instructions on the back, and then you also get the Peasant Polka place set, which I think is for both napkin and that. It has a pattern on the back, and then the instructions are on the inside. You get those 2 printouts running now. Welcome in. There we go. Okay. And then these are just printouts. My grandma used to get these from different clubs and things she was in. I also added in another because this is all Christmas themed, so I figured I would just leave it. So this one comes with this one right here. It has the snowflake place set for the place napkins and everything. Has the design on the inside, instructions on the back. And then you also get all these different printouts that she would get. She got these from like clubs and things like that, but these are different cross stitches. There's snowman, there's candles, poinsettias. You get Santa. There's more candles. Here's another printout from something. It says joy, joy, joy. There's candle with black base, a musical angel, mini Santa, mini bells. And these are on like some fancy paper. They're like shiny paper. Poinsettia, little girl with stockings. And then this one was just a bigger printout that she had. I don't know what book she got this one out of, but I figured I would keep this with it. She did print it like this, but she also printed it like this so you can have no gap here. So you finish the sleigh and then you can move over to the reindeer. So I'm just going to insert that with these. These are all Christmas themed cross stitch. I know we have Christmas coming up. I usually don't do Christmas till after October, but we're going to run these ones. Sorry for yawning. It's been a long day. Thank you for looking at those. Okay, we have another cross stitch. These are birds of a feather. So this one's from, the sticker is kind of covering it, Homespun Elegance Ltd. Designed by Sandra Sullivan. Number 137 was originally $5. But you get the crow, you get a bluebird, and a red bird. And it has all the different instructions for each bird. And then even on the back here, it has how to finish instructions for the larger wall hanging. For this one, I'm guessing how to do this. That is, I love that. But we're going to run this one. Running now. I don't know why I love this one so much. I do like sunflowers and I like crows, especially for Halloween and stuff. Thank you for looking at that one. We're going to get into, I have 3 of these. But like I said, if you have anything else in the store you want to see, if you want me to pull something else forward first, let me know. If you want me to rerun anything, I can do that as well. Okay, so these are the Magic Crochet magazines. They have tons of different patterns in them. This one has 26. What I love about these is they have the number on the pictures, so you can look through, see what you like, and then you can go straight to that pattern. Like this one has pillows, has the lampshades, different doilies, table covers. All in different, and yes, this one has, it will show it like this, but it has a bigger pattern later on. So any of these that have that picture next to it, they do have the pattern later on. And this is DMC, which somebody told me is a type of thread. So this one's special to DMC, but you can obviously use whatever thread you want. And then it has all the different patterns. It has all the different instructions. I know they have a section in here that tells you like how to read the patterns as well. There's some curtains. We got some doilies and a bedspread. More bedspreads, doilies. That looks like a bedspread maybe. Look at this table. I think if they did it in a different color or had a different color, I don't know, I don't like the red with the brown. That hurts my eyes for some reason, but more doilies. And then you have that big one right there. But like I said, this one has 26 patterns in it. Magic Crochet for doilies or the smaller threads, running now. If anyone's interested. Thank you for looking at that one. And then we have this one, which is, this one's from 1982. This one has 21 patterns in it. It has those pillows. Back here is where the technique stuff is, how to read it. But you have all these different doilies, tablecloths, runners, things like that. Pillows. That one's really pretty. I've also seen people framing these and putting them up on the wall, and I think that would just be really pretty as well. Ooh, that one has 2 different colors. I like how they do the center one different for that seat. Oh, there's some furniture covers, table covers, more doilies. But we're gonna run. Like I said, this one has 21 patterns. I feel like my camera's at such a weird angle. Does that help? And then this is the last one that I have of the magic crochet. I started out with 8 of these and I'm down to 3. This one is 24. You have the bedspread. And it's just the same as the other one. It has the techniques in the back. It just has some different patterns. There's the runners. There's some furniture covers. Curtains, it looks like. Table and pillow. And you just find, when you find a picture that you like, you go and you find that number. There's some furniture coverings. And like that one, that's number 17 right there. It's so easy in these books. I like that they have the pictures so you can really see what they would look like. That's another table cover. Table cover. Bedspread and pillows. Another table cover. That looks like a curtain. They cut out the curtain and did that. Another curtain. So we're going to run this one. Do I have the right one pinned? No. There we go. No, it's the right one. This one's from 1983. Running now. This one had 24 patterns in it. Thank you for looking at that. Okay, we have a complete book of cross stitch. This is Reader's Digest. This one is from 1994. And this one, I'm going to try to skip through it really fast. I'm sorry. I'm going to show you what's in here, but there's so much. Has your introduction, has, it looks like, history of how to do it, different materials you'll need. It shows you how the different fabrics work with it. Yep, different materials, different basic techniques. What I didn't realize is that there are so many different types of stitches. Like here, it says Italian cross stitch. There's all these different types of stitches. And then it kind of gets into like the motifs and stuff like that. For a bit here, you get birds, you have animals, you have seafood. If I'm going too fast, let me know if you want to look a little closer. I probably should turn this. There we go. So you can actually see what I'm doing. They have an eagle tote bag right here. They have little wall hangings, ring of clematis and how they used it, but you obviously can use it. I've seen these in the antique stores back when they had to do it in school and stuff. Low battery. Hold on. We'll get through this and then I'll... Little bunnies. And you can make cards, you can make pillows, you can make so many different things. That was a frame. There's floral boxes, bookmarks. Let's get through this. Little curtains. That's blue and white. Mediterranean. I love how they do the landscapes too. And then open work. I don't know what open work is. I don't know what the difference is. So if you are into cross stitch, you probably know better than I do. But it tells you how to do that. Lamp shades. There's some florals, butterflies on the pillow there. That's so pretty. Golden roller blinds. Oh, how to make, yeah, curtains. Blinds. They call them blinds. And there's just a bunch of stuff in here. How to embroider clothing. And it looks like pillowcases. And then it tells you like the finishing techniques, how to do all that. Different techniques and stuff back here. So we're going to run this one. And this is a hardcover. This is from 1994. Running this one. And it kind of shows you, I love these little sachets. Those would be perfect for like Christmas gifts and stuff like that. Thank you for looking at that one. I'm just going to pull up the last little bit. Is anyone Swedish? Does anyone know how to do Swedish stuff? Because this is a Swedish, it's all in Swedish. The only thing I know is the Velkommen is welcome. This is a Swedish kit. Comes with everything in it. It has the loop here, the frame. But my grandpa was Swedish. My grandma took on a lot of Swedish crafts. I never got into cross stitch, but if you have like Swedish family or anyone like that that might be into this, we're going to run this one. Running now. This is the whole kit and caboodle right here. So many different ones you can make. All I know is that this says welcome. That's the only Swedish I kind of learned. My cousins came for my wedding and it was so hard because like they would try to speak in Swedish a lot of it and I didn't understand any of it. My grandpa did. My grandpa was fluent in it because that's where he came here in his when he was 17, but he didn't move here till he was like in his 20s. What is this? Cat. Okay. So he knew what they were saying. I had no idea. Is this a cat? I have two of these. Yes. Okay. So this is a cat pillow pattern. It's a cat and mouse. Has a pattern here, but then there's also this pre-cut out pattern that I will be sending with this one. This one, for some reason, has an extra. It shows you how to make the pillow back here. They did it on a square pillow, and they just put it on the front, but I'm wondering if you could definitely just make like a 3D version of this and make it just a cat. But we're going to run this one. Let me... Running now. If anyone wants to make a cat pillow, thank you for looking at that. Is this a cat pillow too? I'm listening because my kid's at a corn maze right now, and then she's coming home. And I'm probably going to be done before she gets home, but I just want to make sure that if she does show up... Ooh, not cat, dog. That's a show. Dog. Here we go. Okay, so this is the same thing, except for this one's with a dog and a butterfly. Has the instructions on the back here as a different printout. On this side, it does show you like how to make the dog and put it on the pillow. But I'm just gonna run this. Running now. Thank you for looking at that one. What is this? Oh, this is my favorite. I'm going to back up a little bit. This is one of my favorites. We talked about this at I did this show on Wednesday, and this was one of them. And we decided this would be awesome if you were making this like maybe a month or so. I mean, you obviously need time to make this. This is a wedding gown, crocheted wedding gown. You obviously need time for this, but like sizing and stuff, like you have to be doing sizing the whole time, because with wedding gowns especially, you want to make sure it fits like the day of. But if you did this in like different colors and stuff, you don't even have to use it for a wedding gown. Looks like you can do short sleeve or long sleeve. Has the whole pattern here. This is from 1978. We're going to run. This seems to be a popular thing now. But we're going to run this. Running now. I just thought this was the coolest thing. Thank you for looking at that. We have a couple more things. If you guys have any requests, please put them in. If not, make sure you're bookmarking my show so you can see. I usually do Wednesdays and Fridays. I plan on doing a mini show this Wednesday. Mini smalls, I should say. Mostly smalls. Because I think the only minis I have left are like a little bit of wades and a couple other small things. But, oh, not that one. This one. And then on Fridays, I do like the whole shelves. I have a whole shelf full of different decor, glass, pottery, things like that. So little knickknacks, everything. Check that out. I usually have everything preloaded. I'm really good with that lately. I've noticed if I just do it a little bit at a time, it goes faster. But we're going to run this really quick. This is in fair condition. This was very well used. My grandpa, I swear, had one of each of these. My grandma made these for him. But every single pattern is in here. There's all these different types of sweaters with all different designs. This one's a button-up like cardigan. My grandpa, I swear he had one of these, and he had one of these, and if I can find a picture, I would definitely print it out and show you guys that he had these. This, I swear, looks like him when he was younger, when he first came here from Sweden. I swear that's what he looks like, but I don't think that's him in the picture. But he would wear these all the time. There's the long sleeves, there's these ones, and like I said, there is a little wear on that binding. But these are still really good patterns. I'm going to run. And these are old. These are from like the 40s, 50s. They're still in good enough shape that you can read the patterns and stuff like that. Yes, there is some age to them, but thank you for looking at that one. And I think this is the last thing in my tote. This is another Swedish. This one, I don't even know how to say that. Olenschlager. Olenschlager. It's the Yule Christmas. Why not Noel? But look, they don't tell you what colorations they use, so obviously you can choose your own. But I love this so much. They have all these different bright colored patterns in here. And they even have like the snowmen and stuff like that. Poinsettias, bells. I forget what the goat is called. I have one of them. There's a goose. The plains. You have Mary and Jesus. And the three wise men. I have these in real life, the candle holders. They're wood, but I have those from my grandparents. There's Mary and Joseph. And I don't know if this is their version of Santa, but he's got all the gifts and the tree. And you got some candles. But we're going to run. Oh, and it has that trolley on the back. Thank you for looking at that. Okay. Let me just double check that I have no other requests or anything like that. I'm just hoping I didn't miss anything. Looks like it. Okay, so I'm going to put these back. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any last requests, please let me know. I am going to try to raid into somebody else, even though it's just me at the moment, that is doing crafting, just to get my name out there. A few of these things I think I'm going to start pulling into my other show that I do every Friday. We'll see which ones. But thank you guys. Let me just pull up a raid here. They usually have similar sellers. Yeah, okay. Let's just go here. What are they doing? Ribbons, lace, embellishments, random pulls. Okay. So, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Every Wednesday and Friday, I usually do normal shows, so please bookmark those. And let's go raid.